So what I'm going to do now, we're going to go through two interviews. One interview is Fiddler. This is Fiddler Sin. Her name is Fiddler Sin. And, and I'm going to be going through as a job applicant. And the first time through, I'm going to have her answer the questions, ask the questions. I'm going to answer. The power is going to stay with her. You're going to see this. And we're going to run it a second time. And I'm going to ask questions again and watch. The second time, I'm going to control the interview completely.
Hello, Damian. Thanks for coming in and for the interview. Yeah. So I have any questions for me to start off with?
No. I'm just here for a job.
Okay. Yeah. And so what's your expertise in this field?
Well, you had a job posting for sales, right?
Yes.
So I've been doing sales for the last 3-4 years, and I've been really enjoying it. I'm a people person. I like working with people and doing the people thing.
Okay. And how did you hear about us?
Well, through your want ad, like I saw you on the Deed website.
Okay.
And and I just thought that it would be a good match, my skills for yours.
So tell me something that you've done where you've been successful in a sales position.
Well, I used to sell sunglasses, and then from there I sold some pens, and that was really fun. And I'm just looking for a new kind of opportunity right now.
And how long did you do this for?
I was 6 months at the first company. I was 3 years at the second company. I really liked the second company I was working with.
And in this job, did you ever have a conflict that you had trouble resolving, or how did you resolve it?
Well, no one, like, there's no scrapping in it. No one gets upset at me or anything. I'm a pretty easygoing guy, and no one really so not really conflict. There's sometimes the office manager was really tough to work with. I mean, no one really liked them. He was just one of those people that are just really demanding and just not nice. And that's part of the reason why I'm now looking at working with you guys. I hope you are better than that.
And what did you do when he would, your manager would give you a hard time?
I'd really just, answer his questions, and you just ignore it, because some people are just like that. And so I just did what I needed to do, and just spoke with my grievances to some of the staff members, and we all agreed. I mean, I don't think anyone else should be losing their jobs, but I think he should be, changed, and because the turnover of the company is really high, and that's just the way it was.
Okay. And how would you feel about being here as an intern without any income for 6 months, without pay for 6 months?
Well, I'll do, if I can learn, if you can teach me what I need to know, then I'm more than happy kind of starting that way. I have a little bit of employment insurance and stuff like that, a little bit of savings. If I can learn what I need to learn, that would be great.
Now, as your manager, as your boss, if I were to ask you to do something that you weren't, it would be ethical, but something you weren't comfortable in doing, how would you approach that?
I just do it. I think it's just something that we grow by challenging ourselves, right? As long as it's ethical and I'm not, doing something that I'm not.
Absolutely,
yeah. Then I think that's a part of a new job. I think any new job is kind of scary at first, and you kind of go from there. So let's stop this interview here. So I'm very a beta fish. I'm very quiet. I'm sure you're feeling like you got a little bit of Limp Biscuit on the line, and you're trying to bring out from me things that could be of benefit to your organization. And she's definitely in a position of power, right? So let's invert this. I'm going to create a chapter break here, and then we're going to come back to a position of power instead. So I'm going to run this interview now a second time. This time I'm going to be more assertive. I'm going to be more assertive with my body language, more assertive with my tone of voice, and I will now ask questions. And I've asked Fiddler to become a bear. Cindy is her other name. And we'll see, even no matter how big she gets, I can probably get bigger just by controlling the scenario, not by being a boisterous fiend, but just by the quality of questions that we ask and how we go about it. Remember, in business, you're judged, or any relationship, you're judged by the quality of the questions you ask more than what you actually do say. Hi.
Hi, I'm Cindy. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Damian Spaulding. Good to meet you, Cindy.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes.
So what brings you here today?
You know what? I heard about your company. I hear great things about your company, and it sounds like the kind of group that I'd love to work with. How many people are in your company right now, salespeople?
Right now, there's 35.
35, and how long have they been here? Like, what's your average tenure in your?
We have a really good retention rate.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that something that you're looking for?
Yeah, actually, if I'm going to invest myself in an organization, for sure, I want to make sure that it's going to be an organization I want to be with for a long time. But what's the longest time you've had a staff member with you?
We have a gentleman, he's been here for 25 years.
My gosh, that is awesome. That is awesome. And what is it that he likes about the space?
Well, let's get back to you.
Okay, yeah. All right, go ahead. I disarm that with laughter, right? Go ahead.
So why do you think you would be a good fit here?
Well, I come from a very long sales background. I've done many different forms of sales in my history. I have not done your specific vertical selling cameras to orphans in Pakistan, but I think that would be something that I'd really enjoy, And I love to travel, and I'd love to be able to travel with you guys and make that happen. So that's something that is just, is there a lot of travel associated with your job, or do you do things mainly here?
Not at first. It takes a while to get in, and we want to make sure that you're a good fit before we...
Understood.
Before we
that investment is
go
made.
forward.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. I'm sure you have more questions for me.
Yes.
You see that? I controlled her to ask me a question. Oh, I'm such a punk. Go on, yes.
So how do you feel about working for 6 months without any pay?
6 months without pay, that's a big pill to swallow. That's a long time. I mean, I have my expenses and everything. But if the opportunity's right, and if you have the ability for vertical growth or the development that I'm looking for, I'd definitely be interested in making that happen. So I said the curse word of interested, because you never want to hear that. And then I also am giving terms and an objection that she now has to counter. And I'm watching to see if she counters this for me. So,
Nate, can you describe a conflict that you've had with a manager or somebody of power?
Cindy Fiddler, I understand you've been in sales as well yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sure you've been doing it for a long time.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sure you understand that conflict is a part of the sales process sometimes.
It can be, but not just with sales, like somebody, like a manager, a boss.
A manager or boss, okay. Because I think conflict in any way, shape, or form, whether it be in front of a contact or be in the office place itself, is you sit in a room long enough, you're going to argue with yourself about some decision you've made. You get two people in the same room, you're bound to get something else crazier that happens. So I think that's a part of it. And I think the same way we disarm conflict in a sales lead is the same disarmament that we do in a face-to-face in an office. And that goes to a really interesting seminar that I saw by this freak named Damian, and he spoke about agreeing with objections and handling objections and disarming things in certain specific ways. I can break that down for you if you'd like to. But in essence, though, I think conflict is a part of an office space environment. And I think as long as you're respectful and you have the right heart and you want to reconcile with the people that you work with, the details, the minutiae tends to fall between the rug. You fall, and however that term goes, right? But now my question for you though is, you asked me that. Is there a lot of conflict there in your office?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm just getting a feel for your personality and to see if you'd be a good fit for our team.
We're going to end this interview here. I just wanted you to feel the difference. Did you feel how I controlled the tempo? Did you feel how I kept pulling her in the ways in which I wanted to pull her? And for every question that she asked me, I had the ability to ask her one equal, if not ask her one deeper. And I'm keeping her on her back foot as much as she's trying to keep me on my back foot, and is a much more valuable conversation. Now, what I could do if I wanted to become a bear is I can now ask one question, have her answer the question, ask one question, have her answer another question, and only have her ask me one out of two or three. And she's going to feel that lopsidedness. That began at the beginning of today when she was the interview and she realized, wait a second, I'm keeping her on her back foot way too much. She needs to control this, and she took that back. Even if I went as far as even not letting her answer the question completely and I interrupted her with the next question, then she's going to want to start kicking me out of the office. Too much control, too much power. So as we're walking through the scenarios, whether it be a sales call or an interview process, keep that in mind. Anytime we are asked a question, you can ask another question or two in response and get deep. The deeper you get, the more you're going to uncover, the more intellect you're going to show, the more trust is going to be established, the more respect you're going to gain from that exchange, and then the rest is history.